Cheers, Brewers. So why am I pouring a commercial beer when I home brew? Well, just take a look at this colour. Can you see that? It's pretty dark. It's meant to be an amber ale. Amber's the colour of the yellow colour of traffic lights. But anyway, you can see it's quite dark. I had one. This is my second, and I thought I actually like the taste of this. It's really nice. So I went onto the Little Creatures website, and that's where I saw their list of ingredients. While I'm grateful that some breweries put their ingredients in there in case you ever want to clone their beers or try to clone their beers, the best you can do is sort of close. I mean, I did a James Squire Pilsner. It's really nice. The clone I've made, is it exactly the same? It's really close. But if you were to do a side-by-side taste test, you would probably say that, oh, they're slightly different. But this, remember how dark it is? Like, have a look. It's red, almost copper. The ingredients for malts on the website are pale, Vienna, wheat and carapils. All of those have a colour of around 4 degrees Lovibond, which is pale. So I thought it might be time to revisit recipe design.
Alright, brewers, so we're on the Little Creatures website, and this is their Rogers Ale. As I pointed out, here are the malts: pale, wheat, carapils and Vienna. They're all pale malts. And the colour, as you saw, was like I said, it was copper, red to copper. And then we have the hops. EKG used in the kettle, which usually means that's the bittering addition. Cascade in the whirlpool or flame out. And then they have Stella, or what's now known as Ella hops, and Cascade cones in the hop back. Just have a look at the description. There's just a little bit of a history on it. But here it is. So gentle bitterness. So that gentle bitterness generally means low cohumulone hops, which East Kent Goldings are. Light citrus hop. So we've got the Cascade hops there. And then we have roasted toffee and caramel malt flavours. Alright, so the key flavours. Fresh hop, generally just they're the New World hops, which is like the Cascade, Chinook, Citra, Mosaic, Galaxy, Big Secret, all the really strong fruity hops, not the traditional noble hops. And we have caramel toffee. That's going to come. We'll talk about that one later. Malt, malty flavour. I'm going to suggest that mainly comes from the Vienna malt. and then we have fruity flavors, and that is also a more of a malt quality when we're talking these types of fruit, which to me they either look like either red currants or coffee fruit, which is the fruit before it gets burst and you get the seeds, which is what we know as the coffee bean. So we're looking for these flavors: fresh hop, caramel, toffee, malty, and fruity. Next thing I do is the beer flavor wheel. So we know I've got it set here on the top half of the beer flavor wheel. To get this, you just Google beer flavor wheel PDF, and you can get this. I'll put the web address at the bottom anyway. So we know the flavors we're looking for do not come from sugar, yeast, bad flavors, water, or the mouthfeel. We are wanting malt flavors. So remember, we wanted malt drink, which is right here, which is in one of the pale malts, and it just crosses over to the crystal malt, which is one. So that means we're looking at some of the darker base malts, which is Vienna and Munich, and the caramel or crystal malt, which is the carapils, because it just crosses over that boundary. But then we're looking for toffee and caramel, and so we want the toffee caramel. They're in the darker crystal malt. So as you work your way around this, is as they get darker. So the closer you are to the specialty grains, the darker the crystal malts you're sort of looking at. So caramel and toffee are in that dark crystal malt category, but not so dark that it becomes nutty. All right, then we go to so there's some raisins up here in the specialty malts grain, and we'll move on to that in a second after we just touch on the hops. So there's some red berries, which I guess is that thing which says comes from American hops, but as far as I know, the flavors you're going to get from American or Australian Cascade are orange and grapefruit, maybe with a touch of pine, but that's it. So we'll move on to, so in terms of which we'll go back to the malt again. In terms of knowing which malt to use, or malts to use, specialty malts that is, or caramel malts, crystal malts. I just googled malts that give caramel/toffee flavors, and I just clicked on the byo.com website, and we've got Carapils, Caravian, Caramunic, Special B, and Crystal Malt. So they're the different colors of the crystal malt, or different burnt or caramelized flavors. And the bigger the number, the darker it is, and the less of it you need. So there's I have Special B on hand, and it says the aroma is very strong, almost burnt caramel. So that's where I'm getting that from, because so that's what I'm using, Special B, and it's because the flavor or the description of Special B somewhat matches the recipe or the beer's description. You can have a look at all these things to see what sort of flavor profile you're going to get. And then finally, the hops. So I've gone with the Australian Cascade. So hops. This is the Cascade Australia from hopslist.com. And it only differs slightly from American Cascade in that it has all the characteristic citrus, spicy, and floral notes with an additional delicate essence of grapefruit. So I don't mind that as an option, and so I'll be using the Cascade Australia hops for the flavour and aroma additions. So that's my step one for recipe design. Go for the flavours you want, start with flavours, then go to the beer flavour wheel to work out what flavour profile will, or what ingredient will give that flavour profile you're after, and then look at which grains can satisfy that flavour, and hops same. All right, and next one we'll put it all together in Beersmith, or in brewing software. I use Beersmith. All right, until next time, happy brewing.